since 2014 when she joined John Carroll University. And her vision and her collaboration, both on campus and with our community partners, is not only inspiring, but it's making a huge impact in the lives of our students and how our students are making an impact in the community. So there's a couple of really exciting things that she's going to share with you today. And Sister Dr. Catherine Feely, right? Sister of Notre Dame. So you just earned your doctorate from the University of Pennsylvania just a couple of years ago, and you are a BC grad and a Villanova undergrad, correct? And we look forward to sharing your vision for the future for this program. And I think we're also open to questions at the end. Absolutely. All right. So with that, hopefully you can all see and hear on this little screen over here. But welcome, Sister Catherine.
Thanks so much, Doreen, and welcome everyone. I'm delighted that you're here this afternoon and look forward to sharing a little bit about what we've been doing in the Center for Service and Social Action. And I would encourage you to use the chat function to address any questions, and we'll entertain those at the end of our brief presentation today. So we'd like What I would like to do this afternoon is give you a quick overview of what we have been doing and of our presentation. So this afternoon, I'll cover 3 broad strokes in our time together. Talk about the mission of the work that we do, the current work of the Center for Service Learning and Social Action, the impact that it has on students who become alumni, who become change makers in the community. And then I'll talk about some strategic directions and ways that you might want to partner with us as we try to advance the work that we're doing and deepen what we're doing, not only on the campus, but also in the community. So basically, one of the hidden gems at the university is the Center for Service Learning and Social Action. We're an academic department, and what that means is we connect the curricula with opportunities for learning at a deep level in the community. And so what students learn in their courses can be tested, challenged, applied in the community through the ways that we engage our students. So it's a wonderful way to connect really dynamic teaching and learning. It wakes students up to the world around them, but it also helps them think about their role as they proceed through their course of studies. How will they make a difference in the world? And what is their passion and their purpose as we look at the Thanks, John. Yeah. I'm not sure why I'm having trouble with the mute and unmute, so maybe that's an issue too. So one of the things that really helps our students is when they see their learning come to life. And not only do they learn that at John Carroll, but they take it with them as they become alum and launch into the world. And so we want to prepare students, not only personally and professionally, but we want to prepare them for lifelong civic engagement and social action. And I know the alumni office here at John Carroll did a survey in 2015, and they asked alum across the country, were they still involved in some form of community engaged work, community service work? 67% of those respondents indicated that indeed they are still involved in the community in some way. So what we do here at John Carroll matters, hopefully for a lifelong engagement in the world. So what do we do? There are many different areas of work that comprise what we do. As you see on the left, we do a lot of academic service learning. This differs from volunteer work in that the courses that they're taking and the academic content is connected to the purpose of which they're engaging in the community. So what does that look like? If they're taking a course on autism, they might be working with children on the autism spectrum in the community. And so their coursework directly informs what they're doing in the community. And so these two things are connected. That's why there's a hyphen between service and learning. We do a lot of support for faculty. Faculty are the most important way students apprehend and think about their learning in important ways. And so we resource faculty to do this community engaged work well. Third, we do student leadership development. We form students at every turn and at every opportunity. We also employ students and help prepare them for professional pathways as well. We do a lot of work with other campus partners on campus and off. We do significant enrollment events. We also do first year events, and we really engage the staff, the faculty, and alumni in different opportunities throughout the year. We have internships, which include paid internships working with nonprofits. And then we do a variety of mission-based activities as needs arise and as opportunities arise. So that gives you a quick scope. I'll turn it over to John Jackson, who will tell you a little bit more about where we've been and where we're going.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Jackson, as Sister Catherine said. I'm the Assistant Director for Community Partnerships within the Center for Service Learning and Social Action, and a proud graduate of John Carroll University from the class of 2013. I've been in this role for about 2 years and very pleased to be able to share with you today the amazing work that's happening that's still impacting students from the likes of when I was in school, from right now as well. So as you can see from the history and growth over the last decade or so, we've had this trajectory of growing our impact within the community. And now we like to see this growth, but it's not our end goal. It's not our end game here for us to continue to grow our hours year after year. As you can see, as of 2014, we've kind of sustained a solid number around the 135,000 to 140,000 hours per year. And that's really impressive for a school the size of John Carroll. And now it's our goal and duty to really sustain those partnerships that we do have so that the impact that we have is going deeper and creating longer lasting and stronger relationships by listening to our community partners and our clients within the community, rather than continuing to just grow the numbers of hours for the numbers of hours' sake. As I noted, my role is to work with our community partners. We have 75 community partners, and in a second, I'll share with you what that looks like. But this is a rundown of maybe a typical year of John Carroll students involved with service learning on campus. As you can see, this is a full school year, so about 40 or so academic service learning courses per semester. That equates to about 100 weekly activities. Our students are going out into the community in small groups, forming their own communities within their vans. As you can see from the screen, we have student drivers and student leaders that transport our students to and from service. And those van trips are in the thousands mark for the school year. That the 3.52 million in economic impact in the region is based on for 2019, the value of volunteer time in Ohio, which was about $24.05. As I noted, our community partners, this is a lengthy list, and we're proud of that. We're proud of the ability to work with partners in the greater Cleveland area in a variety of ways. Based on what Sister Catherine said, it's in service learning that we really have focused our work. So if you're in an education course in early childhood literacy, you'll be tutoring students in one of the local elementary schools, along with youth mentoring and after-school programs. If you're in a psychology course about human development, you might be working with people at Eliza Bryant Village in their skilled nursing facility. If you're working with a class on sociology, there might be work with incarcerated youth or the refugee population. So depending on what the course outcomes are, we have partners that know and trust us within the area that are ready and willing and happy to have John Carroll students come in and work with work together with. It's not working for, not serving, but working together with in community. And that's what we really promote to our students. As noted, it's the work and mission of the university that we're doing here in the Center for Service Learning and Social Action. This heat map shows over the last 2 years where our students have been involved. And if you recall, the mission of John Carroll University, to invigorate those students to be leaders and serve in the region and in the world. This picture shows that at least the regional piece very clearly through the work that we do here. And as noted, we're proud of that. Sister Catherine's going to share next how we also receive some distinctions because other people think the work we're doing is really great too.
Thanks, John. I love the passion that John brings to the work that we do. That list of community partners that you just saw is largely the work of John in terms of sustaining relationships and building new ones. So it's a wonderful thing that we get to do, and it's never a dull day. Always something new is happening. So by definition, John Carroll is a place where the academic pursuits are met with the co-curricular opportunities, with the development of friendships, and with the passion that we have to invigorate a new generation of learners. The distinction that I share on the screen, the work that we do has been recognized nationally as high impact work. And the Carnegie classification is a national recognition. We're one of 119 colleges and universities that receive this 2020 classification, which means we're one of about only 8% of higher ed institutions that are recognized with this credential. So it's a peer review process, but it's a highly sought after designation, and the work that the faculty, the students, and the staff do is recognized in that award. We also have been recognized as 24th in the nation for our service learning program. So that sets us among our peers of about 4,000 colleges and universities to be in the top 24. We're proud of that. And then the President's Higher Education Honor Roll recognizes institutions that have really set the bar high for civic engagement as a core priority to the work that they're doing. And so we're grateful for that recognition, but it's the students that make that happen. And it's the faculty that facilitate that deep learning. And so the distinction of John Carroll really has to do with these key points that you see on your screen. We have many, many opportunities for students who have a wide variety of interests. We can get them involved with the passionate areas that they're interested in. We have this academic integration that not only takes what they're doing in the community, but makes meaning of it and helps develop their own depth of knowledge and their sense of what is this particular discipline, whether it's psychology or business or economics or chemistry or biology, how does that really apply to their daily life and how do they see that lived out? We know that transformation happens through reflection. And so part of what we do is help students reflect on where have they been, where are they now, where are they going? And that's a key process and a key place of transformation for students. And in order to do that well, we do a lot of student leadership development, which becomes a lot of professional development. In the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you see last year's student leadership team, and they critique the work that we do from a student perspective. They inform our work in giving us better ideas or innovative suggestions, and they also mentor their peers. So they gain tremendous professional skills, hard skills and soft skills in the way that we work with our students. We also have a brand new initiative that's called the JCU in the City initiative. We are part of a vibrant extended urban core. And so John Carroll is invested in the region. We have the joy of really making those connections practical. And so what we do through this initiative is to really connect what's happening in Cleveland and leveraging the university assets to serve that mission. So you see the Stokes initiative in the lower right corner. Part of the work that many at the university were involved in was this anniversary project of looking at the legacy of Carl Stokes. What's happening in the city? What are some of the challenges in terms of policing, affordable housing, access to healthcare? And so we were able to work with a variety of stakeholders in the community to hear what today's needs are, and then to align our partnerships to help address those needs and to leverage our faculty expertise and the passion of students to really get involved. And so this university-wide engagement is informed by the needs of the city and the expertise that we can leverage as an academic institution in the city. It's a tremendous benefit. What might that look like practically? Well, here's a new thing that's happening at John Carroll. In an academic sense, students are challenged to run a for-profit business, student-run enterprise, make a go of it, and they use things like their marketing skills to figure out how to get the word out. They use their accounting skills to put together a cost analysis and a break-even budget to know where they're going to spend their resources. They use their social media talents. They use everything that they have at their disposal in terms of what they're learning course-wise to try to make a go of it. It runs as a for-profit business during the day, and they have to make a margin, a profit margin, sufficient in order that those revenues can provide meals for those experiencing homelessness. And they do that on the nights and weekends. So part of this student innovation team is to really think about how do they not only make a difference and do well, but how do they do good? And how do they make sure that the community, the whole community, is part of their perspective? How do they think with a vision that includes everybody? And so this is a real challenge. Our students this semester were on display at homecoming here on campus. And the entrepreneurship class 304 is working this semester to run this enterprise. And we'll be able to watch it launch, as well as to see what happens and how they really learn from this real life experience. As we know, food trucks are kind of everywhere these days, but the students themselves work in teams to make it happen. As part of our JCU in the City initiative, our commitment to the city is to leverage the brain power of our students. And so we have an internship program that runs in the summer. This is an extraordinary group who work with nonprofits in a paid internship, but they also form a cohort. And so they meet every other week to discuss relevant articles, to learn from their own experience and reflect together, to bring what they're discovering about root causes and structures and systems of inequality, to think about how might they contribute to advocacy to address those causes? How might they be part of solutions going forward? How might their majors get them involved in a whole new way as they proceed onward from John Carroll? So part of that is a research-based advocacy project where they have to bring their learning together and they have to make meaning of what they've seen and heard and experienced in these internships. It's a high impact program, and it's a really exciting way that students engage in their summers here in the city. But John Carroll, as part of any Jesuit institution, cares passionately about the development of the whole person. And so what you see here are the key touch points where the Center for Service Learning and Social Action really help shape the whole person. So we're involved in recruitment efforts to help students see the exciting, dynamic community of John Carroll and to think about enrolling here. We help as students get acclimated, and in that assimilation and in that getting settled process, we have numerous opportunities to get them involved, help them meet new friends that become lifelong companions. We also have research that shows the impact that engaging with us during a freshman semester contributes significantly to a sense of belonging as well as to student retention. And so not only is getting involved good, but sometimes it's essential for students to thrive. So we're here to play that role too. The academic mission is at the core, so we invest very heavily and very deeply there. And we work with real world opportunities so students see why this subject matters in the real world. And I don't know about you, but I often remember thinking, calculus, when am I ever going to use calculus? Or what does this have to do with the real world? By engaging in community-based learning, students discover that connection for themselves, and it's exciting. As we've noted in our slides, student development, student leadership formation, student professional development. Those are all things at the heart of what we do as well. So we usually hire and employ close to 100 students and more, including our office workers as well, which is an opportunity to shape them, to support them, to mentor them. And it's always a joy and a sorrow to see the seniors graduate and move on. It's a joy because that's what they should be doing, but we often lose students that we just have grown so connected with and so supportive of. So that's part of the work as well. And then the career readiness. Part of our intent is to help students think about professional connections. How is what you're seeing and learning and doing really contributing to your own professional growth and development? And how do you use that to launch? And that's part of what we all want to see as the role of higher education. This picture is one of my favorite pictures. You see our student liaisons. These are the students that we employ. They're part of a leadership training program with us. They drive the vans, as you saw, 2,100 van trips a year. And so these students meet every month, but they are the ones who are at the front lines of serving as ambassadors in the community. They love what they do, and this picture kind of shows that. We do a lot of work with them together as a whole group. They mentor one another. They also engage students that aren't engaged, and so they play a really dynamic role in the campus life. They're catalysts for engagement, and so how could you not get involved when you see the enthusiasm that they have and the passion that they bring to what they are doing? And so I wanted to just give you a profile of a student that worked with us. Christian Lowry was a first generation college student and very hesitant at first to get involved. He wasn't quite sure how to get adjusted to John Carroll. And he was involved with us the first semester he came to campus. And I'll turn it over to John, who's going to share a little bit more about Christian's background. And it's exciting to see what he did with us and where that led him.
Definitely, as Sister Catherine noted, Christian was a first generation college student, and he attributed his involvement with CSSA to how he came out of his shell his freshman year of college. As you can see, that really paid off for him as he was involved in quite a bit. He had time to be an athlete, but as noted, he was a part of our student leadership team, and he was a student liaison for us, leading small communities of students in their service rides to and from their community engagement. Christian also was involved with campus ministry, with retreats, and was a resident assistant on campus. So that initial aspect of him becoming involved, that timeline that we shared just a few slides ago, this is the face of that. We really try to mentor students from the very beginning so that they can flourish during their time here at Carroll. And upon graduation, right now, Christian's involved with the Ohio University's Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine at the University of Ohio, and really hopes to become a pediatrician through his work with his service learning and tutoring young students and being involved with children through his service learning experiences here on campus, which is truly wonderful. Now, that's everything that we are doing and what we're proud of. This next piece of the presentation, Sister Catherine is going to run through what the strategic vision is for where we're going to be going, and sharing what our hopes are for where we potentially can get within the next few years.
Thanks, John. So what are our strategic directions and where do we go from here? Part of what we really are committed to is this process of continual improvement and to really look at what's happening out in the community, what's happening in our society, what's happening within the university, and how do we move towards a new frontier in the work that we're doing. And so we have been engaging over the past 3 years in a very particular way to hear what the community's needs are. There's been visioning sessions, listening processes. We've worked with lots of different neighborhood residents in terms of surfacing what it is that they see the role of a university as, and how do we help connect the dots there. We also are working with many other organizations. So if we're going to address the needs of our times, cross-sector collaboration is critical. What does that mean? That means if we're going to address hunger and food insecurity, that's a political issue, and it's an economic issue, and it's something the business community needs to be aware of. It's something that healthcare needs to be aware of. And so if we work across these different sectors together, we can have an impact. And so part of our visioning process is to continue to build these dynamic networks so that we're not working alone or in a silo, but that we're actually leveraging all the assets that the university has to bring in order to deepen the student learning. When they are aware of the intersection of their disciplines, they wake up to why these things matter for their learning. When they see the complexity of things that our society is facing today and know that they have skills and talents to meet those, we know that something powerful can happen. And so our visioning process is a commitment to continue to build this network of relationships, both within the disciplines here on campus, as well as in the community across key players and stakeholders in the community. Second thing that we want to do is to invest in our faculty and to deepen the investment in our faculty, because when the faculty are on fire, the students learn like nothing we've ever seen. And we have such committed, talented, passionate faculty. And so one of the areas where we really want to grow and deepen our investment is in a faculty fellows program that matches them with community-based partners and connects that to their curriculum. So the curriculum also matters, and having an opportunity for faculty to think about the ways that their teaching methods could be invigorated, the ways that students today are learning in new forms. We want to really resource our faculty so that they engage and connect students, and the students catch that kind of fire. And so there are lots of new academic courses that can be developed in this way, and we want to look for ways that we can support faculty and make sure that they're prepared, excited, and resourced to do that. And then the third thing is to really explore a place-based center where we can match and meet faculty with community partners, where we can solve problems together in a collaborative sort of framework, where we can expand the partnerships and the ways in which our students engage off campus. And so we're looking at that as a new frontier. And so experiential learning, what is that? Well, we know that through the classroom, students learn key subject content, and it's an essential starting point. But when they apply it and bring it out into the community, it changes their understanding and it deepens their apprehension, the way they connect to the content. And so experiential learning is a hallmark of a John Carroll education. Students learn best by doing, and part of what we do is we help them do that. And so we want to expand those opportunities. We want to deepen that possibility for every student on the campus. And we really want to expand the way faculty leverage these opportunities for students as well. Faculty engagement is pretty high already, but there's lots of new ways. There are always new things that are happening within the learning portfolio of what they are teaching. And so we want to help faculty stay current, stay on the cutting edge, stay on the leading edge. We want our students to be thought leaders as well as ethical leaders. And so to expand our faculty engagement is a real priority. Well, how do we do that? Well, through faculty development, through investing in them, through professional development opportunities, and to connect them in new ways with exciting opportunities for teaching and learning in the community. And that leads us to a space. A lot of our community partners require a van ride away, as you saw from our previous slides. So we want to actually commit to proximity as in the way that we engage, and to really have a place-based initiative in where we can leverage not only the teaching power of our community partners, who become some amazing lifelong learners themselves and leaders themselves. And so they often teach our students things that they can learn nowhere else. We want to really make that a process rather than a periodic occasion for engagement. And so we're looking at a place-based initiative to leverage the assets of the university, to provide collaborative community space, to convene, to help support micro enterprise to help support diverse businesses and minority business creation and wealth creation within Cleveland. And so a space where we can actually convene, connect, engage, and bring students to the mix is part of what we're doing as well. We're already a vibrant part of the neighborhood in all that we do and in the commitments that we have undertaken. But we want to deepen that in a place-based way to extend the conversation and to enshrine the commitment that we are making and have been making for generations of John Carroll students getting involved. So a collaborative space is a way that we can deepen what we're doing and leverage the university capital in new ways. So that might look like a storefront, and we're in the dreaming stages, and we invite you to dream with us. And there are 3 things that we would like to do in a space like this. We want it to be space for innovation, for creative problem solving, for identifying needs and finding ways to address those needs. There's a lot of work that we do and a lot of work that needs to be done on youth empowerment, and that includes healthy minds and healthy bodies. That means access to food on a regular basis and looking at addressing it, food insecurity. It means youth employment, and it means youth empowerment to pursue pathways to college. And so we want this space to be a place where we can do that on a sustained basis. And then looking at the need for support of training and intergenerational technology learning. So we have seniors who have really experienced social isolation through the pandemic in ways that have been very detrimental. And we see the same with youth, but we have youth that are digital natives. And so how do we connect the expertise with the need, and how do we turn that into a generational encounter that can enrich everybody and really bring a whole new dynamism to what's happening in Cleveland? So those 3 things are what we envision at the outset of a place-based initiative as we dream a little bit more and look further afield. So what are some investable ideas? I'm so glad you asked. So there are 3 things that we would invite you to think about as we invest in the future of John Carroll and for the sake of our future students as well as our current students. So to support a faculty fellows program. Again, faculty are amazing here, and we want to resource them to the nth degree to make John Carroll the most dynamic place it can be for teaching and learning. We'd like to invite you to consider supporting the expansion of our work in student leadership development and in the internship programs that we offer so that students have year-round opportunities for paid internships. We're seeing in the research that an internship can make a huge difference in a hiring process for a student who's looking for full employment after graduation. And so by being able to connect students to these internship opportunities, we can really make sure that they are well prepared and that they are distinguishable in the marketplace because of the experiences that they acquire in an internship, soft skills, hard skills, knowledge, competencies that employers are really looking for, and internships give them a competitive edge. And third, we invite you to consider joining us in establishing some form of a neighborhood engagement center where we can really leverage the university in new ways to address the urgent needs in the community. So there's a lot that we would love to do, and there's a lot that we can do together. We want to take time now to address any questions that you might have, and we're happy to the best of our ability to engage those at this time. So feel free to use the chat to post any questions. You're welcome at this time to unmute yourself, and I'll turn it back to Doreen for any questions.
Thank you, sister. So I think we have unmuted all of you. There's about 20 some people on this Zoom call. So if you have questions, you should be unmuted, so you should be able to ask them. Correct? Yeah. They have to accept it. Oh, you have to accept the unmute invitation if you have a question.
Well, the start video is just going to look at wherever we are.
You can go in there.
Terry, you're unmuted now.
Terry, do you have a question?
No, I was explaining to George that it just had just my name, not our video camera on.
Okay, well, we recognize your voices. Are there any questions? in the chat?
Jack has one.
I don't have a question. I'm a graduate from 72 and a business major and got an MBA after this, but I've been very involved with charities. And I talked to Rory O'Neill from John Carroll from time to time and got involved with setting up a scholarship from my high school in Erie, Pennsylvania for students to go to John Carroll. And I only learned about maybe the food truck. How many years has that been in existence? And I just thought that sounded entrepreneurial. And then when I saw this email today, because I've been also involved with a home for troubled boys, I think it is so important that young people do reach out into the community and hear the other problems beyond their problems and witness them firsthand. So my compliments to the school and to your team for putting this together. And I knew very little about it. So just serendipity that I was on the call today. Thank you.
Jack, thank you for your support of John Carroll. We are very grateful for that. And I'm glad that you're excited about Sister Catherine's work, because we are very excited about what she's been able to do and how many community partners that that program has been able to engage and how it lines up with our mission, and to see really the faces of the students after they go through a couple of years of that program, and it totally changes their life for the better, we hope.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, thank you for dialing in, zooming in today for our overview. We will continue to offer programs like this and Sister Catherine again as we move forward and more ideas take shape. And we just thank you for your time. And we invite any questions after this session or any feedback.